Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video, and today I'm finally getting to my review of the Beats Studio Buds Plus. Now, it's taken me a while to put this video out just because I like to take my time with the products before I publish the review, just in case there's anything that happens during a set amount of time, for example 2 weeks or even a month in this case, just so that when I do put out that review, it's a recommendation based on using it for that set amount of time rather than just a week doing the review and then forgetting about the product and never talking about it again. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and jump right into the product review, but if you haven't seen my unboxing and first impressions, I'll link that video down below, so if you want to check that out, as well as a link to the earbuds themselves so you can check them out on your own or purchase them if you like. So all that will be down in the description below, and again, I'll be breaking up this video into separate parts and just linking the timestamps below so that you can skip through like chapters. So with that said, let's get right into it. The first part I'm going to be talking about is build quality. Now, the build quality overall for these earbuds is great. Of course, it's to be expected. The device is $160 or $170, and it is a very premium build for these earbuds. It's got nice, soft, rounded corners. I do love the translucent color. It's very different. You don't really see that around in earbuds these days. But overall, it feels very nice in the hand. Sometimes it may be a little slippery, and I'll mention some things in this review that I noticed and may bother you, but it hasn't really bothered me, and that is opening up the case with one hand. Sometimes I found it to be tricky depending on how moisturized my hands were. Either my hands were a little extra sweaty, or if you're wearing any lotion on your hands, you may find it tricky to hold the case or even open it again with one hand. Another thing I found tricky was trying to pull out the earbuds from the case just because of the design of the earbuds. Where the button is, it's a little hard to pull out sometimes. I was afraid I was going to drop them, but it's something that I got accustomed to. So it's something I'll mention so that you're aware of it. If it's something that may bother you or bothers you when you do pick these up, it's something that's also happened to me as well. And the lid, I do want to mention, has a little bit of give to it, just enough where I notice it, but it hasn't really been any problem or anything like that. The magnet that closes the lid and holds it closed is strong enough where it's not an issue, but you do notice it when you open it and you just give it a little wiggle. I'll demonstrate it here. I'm actually going to hold it up to my microphone, which is off to the side here, so you can hear it. But yeah, it has a little bit of give, just enough where it's something I'll mention, but it's not affecting the overall functionality of the device. Next up, we're going to talk about fit and feel / comfort. And I think these are some of the most comfortable earbuds that I've ever tried. And I've tried a bunch, just not all of them end up on a review here on this channel, just because I don't want to saturate the channel with too many earbuds. But these have been the most comfortable. And I do love that they include a variety of different ear tip sizes depending on your ear size. And it's okay to mix and match different ear tip sizes. For example, if your left ear is a small, but your right ear is a large, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But I do love that they do include that variety of different ear tip sizes so that you can find your fit. And in terms of the comfort of the earbud inside of your ear, it's very comfortable. I did have a listening session of about 2, almost 3 hours just to see how long I can go without feeling any sort of discomfort, and I didn't feel any discomfort whatsoever. And the earbuds themselves, when they're in your ears, they're nice and snug. You're going to have that nice airtight seal, so even if you don't like using active noise canceling, which is great, and we'll get to that in the sound quality portion of the video, you do get that passive noise canceling, which happens because of that noise isolation and airtight seal between the ear tips and the inside of your ear. So overall, the comfort of the earbuds is there. It's very comfortable. It's not going to bother you, hopefully. It didn't really bother me. And the next part we're going to be talking about is sound quality. Now, if you're used to Beats products, you'll know this is the Beats sound profile, so it's more leaning towards the bass. So if headphones or earbuds that lean more towards bass is not your thing, maybe this is something you want to consider when you pick these up, or maybe look to something else, like for example AirPods. AirPods don't really have that much bass. They're very flat. If you do use them with an iOS device, they have that variable. I forget what they call it, but they have something where it's like the EQ, adaptive EQ, I think is what it's called. These don't really have that. They're just straight up bass heavy, which is fine because I do listen to predominantly more pop and rock music, which it's nice to have that extra bass with that kind of music, and my phone doesn't really have the best equalizer or presets to begin with, so it's nice to have that extra bass in there. And it's just something that I want to mention because not everybody likes that Beats sound, but I've been very satisfied with the sound quality. Now, during my original review, I forgot to mention the sound quality out of the earbuds themselves, and it sounds pretty good, but considering that the audio is being transferred through Bluetooth, it's not going to sound as good as a wired headset or even a wired pair of headphones with a built-in microphone, but it does sound pretty decent. It's good enough for audio calls, and it can help you out in a pinch if you do need some video or audio recording using the headset. But I'm going to go ahead and just talk about connectivity and Bluetooth and all that kind of stuff right now so you can hear the microphone while I talk about something that I forgot to mention during the video review. Now, when it comes to connectivity, I think it's very cool that it does have that pairing. It's automatic pairing with both Android and Apple devices, so I was able to connect the earbuds up to my phone without having to pair anything. It's just open the case and it connects by itself, so I thought that was really cool. And through my time using them, I did not have any sort of hiccups or issues with Bluetooth connectivity. Moving on to the final part, which is battery life. I've been very impressed with the battery life for these earbuds. Of course, again, they are $170, so you do have a certain level of expectation for battery life, as well as everything else across the board. Now, I did use these earbuds strictly for 2 weeks. And I mentioned 2 weeks because that's how long the battery lasted without charging it. From the moment I picked these up and I did my first impressions review, which I just plugged them in right after that video, charged them up to 100, used them strictly for 2 weeks. It's all I used. If I want to listen to music doing laundry or cleaning up the house or walking to work or even doing work at the office, it's all I would use to listen to music with that active noise canceling, and they lasted about 2 weeks. And in terms of a single use, I did have them in for a good 2-3 hours, and I think they went from 100% down to like about 70, almost 60%. So I could have gone an extra 3-4 hours maybe, and they would have been just fine with the noise canceling. So you can't expect 8+ hours of battery life on a single charge in about 2 weeks without charging the case. I'm going to close this video off with some of the questions that viewers had in the first video and addressing some changes between the first generation and second generation Beats Studio X, as well as my recommendation as to where to go if you want to get these earbuds or don't know where to go, or maybe the sound quality isn't your favorite. So let's get into that. So you're going to see me look to the side here for a bit because I do have a dual monitor set up and I have my questions up on one side. But the first question is, or observation was, there is no wireless charging or volume controls. While there is no wireless charging, there are volume controls, and I'm actually holding the first generation here I'm going to be using for an example. They do have volume control, and you go into the application, the Beats application, or even if you're on iOS, you go into your Bluetooth settings, and that's where you can assign what the buttons do. Currently I have it so that you long press and it turns on or off active noise canceling. I have it so that it goes from active noise canceling to transparency mode. It does come with that option, which is very nice, and I have that so that in case I need to hear somebody or I need to be or have that spatial awareness, I just turn on transparency mode and I can hear everything that's going around me. It's almost like you have a pair of regular earpods or AirPods in your ears, and you can hear everything around you, which is really nice if you need to have that spatial awareness. But if you don't want to hear anything, you can turn on that active noise canceling, or if you want to extend the battery life but have some noise canceling, you can have that passive noise canceling by turning it off and opting for not going for that transparency mode. Now, one observation my sister made when I let her borrow them was the difference in design for the buttons, and I actually have them here. This is I showed them off in the original unboxing and first impressions just to see what they look like, and they look 90% identical, maybe even 99%, but you're going to notice that the little button there, it's actually I'll hold them up side by side so you can see. It might be a little hard to see actually, but there's a lip right around the button, whereas on the first generation the whole top part is a button. So what that means is if you go to adjust your ear tips, it might be if you're on a phone call, you may hang up on the phone call that you are going to. Sometimes my sister would have a FaceTime call with my parents and she would hand me over the little earbud, and as I'm putting it in my ear, I accidentally pressed a button. You can see here from the side, I'm pressing the button. You might not even see the button moving, but I'm pressing the button. And here, because it does have that little lip, and you can see it more if I hold it head on, there is like a ring around that button. So what that does is it prevents any false presses or anything like that. So that's one change between the first and the second generation. Now the noise canceling, she did say it's probably close to that 1.8 times they say, but she did say that it's really not worth the upgrade, and I do agree with her. If you're on the first generation, I don't think it's worth the upgrade, but if you're like on the first generation AirPods like I was, I really think it's a nice upgrade. The noise canceling between the first generation AirPods and these is a lot better, and I do like that Beats profile sound. I do have a pair of Beats Flex that I love how they sound, and I'm used to and comfortable with the EQ that Beats provides. And compared to my Pixel Bud Pros, I don't really use these because these always slip out of my ears, so the comfort that I get from these earbuds is not something that I have very common in all of my earbuds. So I love these because they're comfortable, they got great sound. And the next question or mention, of course, a lot of the comments in here is a lot of mentions for wireless charging. I wish they did have wireless charging because it's really convenient to just set it down on a little charging pad and you're good to go. But I didn't really find it a big issue. And someone commented, knock off nothing buds, but I responded to them that just because they're transparent doesn't make them knockoffs. It's nice to see transparent tech is starting to make its comeback, and we started seeing that with Nothing. Nothing started releasing a lot of the transparent phones and earbuds and stuff like that, so I do like it, and I hope they do release these in different colors in the future. I probably wouldn't get them if they do, but it's nice to have a transparent pair of earbuds because it's different. It's something you don't see every day. I did mention that my AirPod Pros, the reason why I wanted to upgrade to these for my AirPod Pros was because they're always slipping out of my ears. And what I do to bypass this, in case it's something that happens to you, I just want to mention it. I did buy these flanged ear tips. Hopefully you can see them. The exposure is a little high. I did purchase some flanged ear tips. I'll leave them down in the description below. So what this does is it makes it so that it's a lot easier for the ear tips to stay in your ears, and that's something I'll link down below because I found it very helpful. And I honestly wasn't going to use my AirPods at all because they would always slip out of my ears. I did buy a first pair, gave them to my sister because I just couldn't stand it anymore, and then I kind of missed the sound quality, so I bought them again and found a solution. Again, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns regarding the product, leave it down in the comment section below and I'll get to you as best as I can and help you out as much as I can. And with that being said, thank you for watching if you've made it this far, and I'll see you all in the next one.